baby. I know these niggas probably, where they at? What's this? What's all this
going
brick?
on? Where's Josh?
Where's Josh? I don't know, right, bro? This is the first 2-person pod we done did.
It's necessary though. I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna say because we missed last week, and I was quite pissed off that we missed it. Not at anybody in particular, because sometimes schedules conflict.
Yeah, people got their own life at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I wasn't mad, but it was just like, dang, I wish we could have, just had an episode for y'all, because I'd be so freaking busy, just caught up with everything. I didn't even say we weren't uploading. Like the day just kind of went by, and I was like, dang.
It happened.
It happened, and now it's over. So I felt bad about that, but live you learn, make mistakes. I'm gonna do better. The social media manager, whatnot. That's my official title. I guess I'm gonna go with that.
But I be having the same problem though when it comes to when I don't post, just updating my people. I'm not dropping today. It just leaves your mind. Like you might think to do it, and then next thing you know, it's like, Brian, I forgot about it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm dropping today though.
I was gonna say
we here today.
But I be feeling so bad with my main channel, because I feel like they go so long without upload sometimes, and I know it's
you
like
be abusing them. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's my fault. A lot of times my fault, but sometimes it's just. This is what happens when you deal with black people. All your people is black. Everybody's on color people time. People don't like organization. You feel me?
It's Uncle Ruckus ass nigga.
But I'm being serious, because it's like, so I'm telling you, like, the last video I uploaded, it's been 3 weeks, and I'm working on the video right now. So
How long?
It's been 3 weeks since I uploaded.
Damn.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. But it's been 3 weeks since I uploaded, and as soon as that dropped, I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this and this. None of it has happened, because the one thing I wanted to do the little 2v1 me versus Rohan and Freeman. I thought that would just be funny, I thought, because I was gonna be mic'd up. I was gonna mic them up, and I thought it would just be hilarious. You feel me?
Yeah.
Not even one of those 1v1s where it's like taken seriously. It's purely for the joke of the fact that I'm playing against
2v1.
2v1 against
Flight versus Cav when he had his arm tied.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's the exact mindset I had. But then after that, like I told you, the other video, you're the only person I told about this video.
Okay, we're gonna keep that on the
wraps.
we're
gonna keep that on the wraps, because I want that to be like a surprise, because it'll be the first time that they're on my channel, being like even present or anything. Nobody knows. That video might get me in trouble. I ain't gonna lie, but
you think it would?
Yeah.
All right.
With some certain people.
Yeah. I can see where that could happen.
Yeah, so I mean, if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. At the end of the day, I made my bed. I'm laying it. You feel me? Like that's just the consequences of my own actions. You feel me?
Sometimes you just got to deal with it, man.
Oh yeah, I done had to learn that the hard way. That's been one of my like biggest lessons learned over like the past like year or two. It's just like you do the things that you do, eventually it's gonna catch up to you. A lot of things I've done caught up to me, and even though I haven't, that video would be like the biggest event, because if certain people see it, I would definitely, some bridges would be burned.
Yeah.
So it's just like like I said, I made the decision to do what I was doing, so it was like I regret it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's like I'm proud of what I was doing, because it's just like I was in a different space mentally than I am now, and I'm grateful for the growth, but that's who I was back then.
Yeah.
So
one of the biggest thing that helped me through life, like I always preach, just control what you can control. Now you can take how you can, but like basically you just gotta take shit one step at a time. And like if you do something, like you said, you gotta understand it comes with consequences. So just if you're gonna do something, be prepared of what happens next. Don't think you just gonna get away with shit.
Yeah, cause I was in that situation where like I was just kind of getting away, cause I was getting away in it, and like the real, but it wasn't like when it was happening, I was never like, oh yeah, I'm such a I'm so player. Yeah. It was that and that goes back to what we was talking about a few weeks ago with the whole, can you still love the person while you're doing that? It's like the reason why I was doing that is just I wasn't it wasn't like this fun thing where I was like flexing to all my homies and things like that. It was a deep struggle within me, a lot having to do with, self-validation and self-control and, fighting demons. That gets overused a lot.
Yeah,
but that's one of the only ways I can really describe it.
Yeah.
So
it comes with growth though. Like every I ain't gonna say every boy goes through that phase where they just on that, but majority of people do, and it just comes with growth and maturing as a man. You gonna go through shit like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm grateful for that. We ain't even
get on the topic. Yeah, we ain't intro. We ain't get on the topic. We just been talking. Thinking about it, bro.
Yeah. But hey, welcome back to the Lunchroom Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Sundun, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host. We only got one co-host today.
Chill D.
Chill D.
I can say my shit freely without it being stolen.
Copyright claim.
No, I love you though, Josh. Man.
No cap, bro. Joking, man. But yeah, man, we missing Josh today because he out of town. He handling business. You feel me? We couldn't get a pod last week because he had some personal things going on. So it's no hate or nothing like that. Obviously, that's because I don't want it ever to be. Oh, he's not on the pod. Beef? I don't want that to ever be the thing. Yeah,
well, definitely not, bro.
Never that. Could never. But yeah, appreciate y'all for sliding through. Catch us on audio platforms, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Watch us on YouTube, of course. You feel me? Follow us on all social media at the Lunchroom Podcast YT. And yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get into this pod, man.
So we'll jump it off by beating bitches. Allegedly. So Jonathan Majors, what you got to say about that?
Man, when I tell you, when I saw that junk, it was out of 2023, that's the biggest shocker of the year so far. And it's so crazy. Like, as soon as I start going hard for somebody, supporting them heavy, they want to beat people up. They want to beat women up. It's like, oh my gosh,
He's
bro.
He's the reason they beating bitches.
What you mean?
Every time you support somebody, they just go beating on bitch. That's what it sound like.
I might just gotta. Hey, but because as soon as I started listening to Kanye music, he want to turn to an anti-Semite. Maybe I just don't need to support niggas at all.
But that is crazy because I ain't lie. Because me and a lot of other people I know, nobody knew who this dude was until like this year or the end of last year, where he just started popping up in every fucking movie. Like every big movie was just there. And so literally with Creed 3, I was like, all right, he decent as hell. He is somebody I should be supporting.
Yeah.
So when Creed 3 dropped, I'm beating bitch.
Like, nigga, it was like not even 2 weeks later, I don't think.
He got all that boxing training, went and tried it at home. That's all it was.
It's nuts because like he was everybody's sweetheart. And you in good when the women is like fawning over you. Like all the black women. He's so fine. He that 1960s fine. So like, they own him, glazing that nigga. Just to turn around and he done like did some crazy junk. And it's like I hope the victim can heal, you feel me? Because that's a traumatic experience. Getting your hands put on, especially if you're a woman, that's a traumatic experience for anybody. But as a woman, like that's just one of the situations where it's like I don't see how. I'll just say that they're the ones who come out on the other side and are still like okay, incredibly strong people.
Most definitely. I know we talked about it earlier, so I don't want to take too much. But like I said, I seen that the case was dropped. You told me it wasn't, but you basically said she recanted her statements. Is that what you said, basically?
Yeah. So what I saw, I didn't see anything. There wasn't any new news because the news dropped. There was shock and awe, and then after the shock and awe, everything just kind of went. Well, I ain't gonna say everything went kind of silent, but people were like, the only updates were that they're working hard to clear his name, basically. And then that's when I saw that the statements that she made have been recanted. So I don't know what to what degree that is. Like I don't know who she made the statements to, how like because like I said, there wasn't no charges dropped. It's
Yeah,
still an
yeah.
ongoing case. So I don't know much about any of the specific logistics or anything like that. It's just I know that the statements were canceled. That's all I know. But what I do know is that he did that jump.
You said it was some text messages or something that
Them
got leaked?
text messages was very incriminating. My phone by dead right now, so I ain't gonna pull them up. So I'm gonna try to paraphrase what I said. But basically, it seems like the text messages were like later that day or the next day after he got arrested.
Yeah.
And it was giving all the vibes of someone who's this isn't their first rodeo when it comes to getting their hands put on her.
So he's a
specifically.
professional domestic violencer.
Yeah, the way allegedly, I'm just saying that to avoid legal, because the thing that was so crazy because she said like, I didn't want them to arrest you or press charges. It was just that was just their protocol after they saw the injuries on me. Saying something about I just got out the hospital. Like these are text messages to him. She's like, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I tried to make sure that this didn't happen to you.
Was he replying to any of these?
Nigga didn't reply to nothing.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. You never know. She might be faking them, bitch, trying to make him.
I mean, I'm the guy that's like, okay, that's possible, but is that probable? Did that probably happen? I don't think so. Especially considering that it's just like, okay, she went to the hospital. She had clearly, like that was the first thing that came out, that she had visible injuries on her, that she had went and got checked out. So it would just seem weird to come back after, because she knows this has gotten leaked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like she would have any reason to say it again, already knowing that people already know. So it's just like, yeah.
They got any pictures of her injuries and something?
No, no pictures. What would the only thing that would save basically his career, I guess, would be because they said that there's a video proving his innocence, but we don't know when that video was taken or whatever. It's probably some type of like a camera like on the side of a building or something like that. Something like that. We don't know, but that video hasn't been released to the public, so nobody knows nothing.
Nah, that's just a general crazy situation to be in. Like the fact that she's still trying to like that shows that she actually still loves him after all this. Because the fact that you sitting there talking about, I ain't want you to get arrested after you don't put hands on me. Cause I know good and well, if you a girl, you put your hands on me. Oh man, look, I can't hit you back. Please, boy.
Get up out my face forever.
I'm trying to tell you gotta hit the dough.
I'm telling you.
Speaking on careers from earlier, a little segue. Bro, who had the bigger career, Chris Brown or Kanye?
My nigga, bro. So this, it wasn't even the career. It wasn't the career.
Okay.
It was based off. So this all started because I admit I got a bias. I have a bias against Chris Brown because I just don't like supporting abusers. And lately I've been unpacking that idea because I've been really trying to develop my relationship with God and things like that. And I was starting to, it came to me, I'm like, by going out of my way to not support him and things like that, I'm kind of making myself God in a way by kind of even though he don't know who I am, but still kind of punishing him.
Even worrying about you.
Punishing him in a sense by not supporting his music. Things like that. So I had to think, am I trying to put myself as the judge? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
that's
neither here or there. That's a whole completely different conversation. But it all started because it was in the now we weren't in the gym yet, but I had posted on social that it was this list of 9 artists. It was pick one to go and keep the rest or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Chris.
I seen that shit.
Yeah, it was Frank Ocean, SZA, a couple of other artists, and it was I was like, Chris Brown is by far the worst here. I don't listen, nigga.
I ain't gonna lie. Frank Ocean would have hit the damn. Would have got kicked off the boat, boy. I know that gonna be some niggas mad.
Oh yeah, niggas gonna hate you.
Boy, I ain't gonna lie. Give me that. Lean and all that.
But my thing was I just said it all complete bias. I'll pretend until my bluff get called. You feel me? Because I was like, I ain't never listened to no daggum Chris Brown album. I ain't listened to no SZA album. But I was sure acting like SZA was better than they. But when when Caleb had called me out and was like, nigga, have you ever listened to either of them albums?
I had to
nah.
be quiet.
I had to be quiet.
Just be quiet.
Because I couldn't even say it. He got me then. But basically that's what it all started. Because I said that Chris Brown is gone. And I was like, and Caleb was like, "Oh, he clears SZA," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're bugging me. This is still me knowing good and well I don't listen to neither one of them niggas." But I didn't let that junk go. So we talked about it at the gym, and somehow, some way, because they were trying to make the argument that he was number one at that time, like the number one artist in the world. Between
what
06 and basically from 06 all the way up to the point where he beat Rihanna. He was the number one artist.
I ain't gonna lie. You gotta understand, at this point in his life, he's being called the next Michael Jackson.
And I acknowledge that he had crazy, like if he would never had put his hands on Rihanna.
Yeah, he would have been literally the next pop king. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
So I can understand what if they were talking off trajectory, but they were trying to make the argument that he was a bigger than Kanye West throughout that, because they were trying to say, because when they were saying he was number one at the time, like how could he be number one when Kanye West is right there? And they're like, that nigga was bigger than Kanye. Like, hey, like nigga, shut up, nigga.
The only thing I can say is that back then I didn't know nothing about Kanye West, and that might just be because of my upbringing or whatnot. But it's just a simple fact of Chris Brown was just literally that nigga back there.
Everywhere,
literally.
And as I've been thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I think because the argument is purely popularity. Ain't got nothing to do with the music at all. Yeah, it's just pure popularity. What we were talking about. That nigga Chris Brown was everywhere. You know, he's the pretty boy, light skin, dancing everywhere.
Had Rihanna on his arm.
That's what I'm saying. So he's more visible at that time. But I don't think visibility and popularity necessarily go hand in hand. So basically my argument as to why Chris Brown wasn't bigger than Kanye. You know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm real analytical. First thing I brought up was album sales. So I brought up that in like 04, Kanye West sold like 441,000 first week. No, Chris Brown. He dropped his first album in 06, so you gotta go with 06. Okay. What was you finna say?
I was just finna say the fact that you know the exact number of that right now off the top of your head is kind of crazy.
Bro, we was just talking about it, bro. It just
nah, bro. No way, bro. Hey, he pulled that big ass number out his ass, boy. He said 41,000 something. He said the exact number. I bet you if you go Google that bit right now, it's the exact number, bro. Oh, that shit crazy, bro.
Oh my gosh. But so they was like, no. Chris Brown dropped his first album in 06. So you got to go off from 06 to 09. That's how we got on that little 3-year area. That's how we got to that. And I'm like, okay. I tried to slide past with 05 because in 05 he sold 860,000.
Damn.
So I'm like, so in 06 when Chris Brown dropped his debut album, how many records you think he sold first week?
What, Chris Brown?
Yeah. Just throw a number out there.
Probably, look, I don't know, probably like 30,000. 30,000 somewhere around there.
He sold 152,000. Okay.
Hey,
so if Kanye a year before was selling 860,000, and the next year Chris Brown sold 150,000, it's like, come on, what are we talking about?
You was right,
but it got worse. It got worse. So in 07, they both dropped the album in the same year. This nigga Kanye sold 970 million. No, not million. 970,000 copies first week.
Boy, ain't no damn way, boy.
Not million, 100,000. He sold that much first week. And Chris Brown that next year, he had a crazy jump. He sold like 295. So to go from 150 to 295 is crazy. But so selling almost 1 million first week, nigga, that was graduation, nigga.
Yeah, I understand. I think the biggest thing with that and why I don't really like to look at album sales and junk like that when it comes to like artists in that time, was like even before I say even in the Tyler the Creator junk I was telling you I watched on who he talks about this. They talk about this a lot. Back then it was big on image. So like everybody had like you had to be this hard masculine nigga and this that and the third and it's still kind of like that today, but it was like big back then. You got LL Cool J with his shirt off and all the others.
Yeah.
So for Chris Brown to come in there singing and even be selling that much, you know, majority of them shits is coming from females.
Yeah.
And females don't really buy albums for real. So that would probably be my only counter argument to that.
Yep. But that's the thing. You using your daggone brain.
Oh, I know them niggas. They just yelling.
This nigga Caleb. This is just how I'm going off my childhood and how I feel. Like you lost. You lost already. You lost.
Hey, it's over with.
You're talking about feelings. Because if I would have used that with me, nigga, Kurt Franklin, Mary Lecrae, goddamn Marvin Sapp, all these gospel artists, they number one. Because that's all I came up on.
Yeah.
My whole childhood up until like 2012. That was who I listened to. That's all that was played in the car.
Yeah, that's all you could do. You ain't got the aux.
That's exactly what. So if that's what we going off of, how we came up, you feel me? That's why I went straight to okay. How can we prove this? How can we measure this with something that's you can actually measure? And that's the first thing I brought up with album sales. But that point you made about how his core fan base wasn't really buying albums, that's the only, but like I said, they didn't bring that up.
Yeah, I
so
know it.
That's the only thing I can give Chris Brown is the fact that, you know, maybe his fan base was just going off of, you know, kids and all that. Excuse me, miss. Like they was just buying that up. Exactly. So that's the only thing, but still 900, almost a million copies first week is nuts, nigga.
Yeah, no lie. Kanye was that nigga back then, but he's still kind of that nigga now.
I'm gonna say because Donda and that album was, I mean, at the time when it dropped, it had a lot of hype, and I thought it was really good at the time. I probably would have gave like an 8. It's aged poorly now, but that's besides the point. It sold like 600,000 first week, I want to say. So doing that 20 years in, almost 18 years in, that's crazy.
Yeah, no
that's some LeBron stuff.
Nah, you ain't lying, boy. That shit is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of LeBron, since we bringing up old niggas, how old do you think it is? How old do you think is too old to go on spring break, bro?
Oh yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. Once you 25, 26. Cause this go. What you just gonna say?
Nah, I'm just 25, kind of low, bro.
All right. Well, why you think that's low?
You jump out of high school 18, 19, 25 ain't nothing but what, like 7 years down the line?
But you gotta think
most people still in college then.
Most people graduate around 22, 23, maybe 24.
What you talking about?
College.
Okay. I was finna say, you talking about high school. That's kind of crazy.
I was like, that's nuts. You just need to give up.
I was trying to tell you, boy.
That's a wrap.
Oh, you got a 1.7 GPA, boy. That shit terrible.
You in that bit like SpongeBob trying to get his boating license. Nigga, you just give up. But most people graduate college around like 22, 23. At the very late people is 24. So I'm like, once you're 25 and you still going to Miami to go on spring break specifically at the same time as these 18, 19, 20, 21.
They're trying to bust something. That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. But that's kind of, once you're getting up in there in that age, like, nigga, once you're 25, like.
Nah, you is right. Because once you're 25, you should be getting your life established.
I was like, you should be having like a career. You should need to be trying to, okay, what's my future looking like in terms of family, house. And if you don't want a family, you gonna want a daggum house. Like you have like something. So it's like it's kind of like giving off like because it's like you go down there just to get some cutty and come back. It's like you ain't got nothing else better to do, old man.
No, a lot of them niggas don't, boy. Because a lot of them ain't go to college. They just out. They been doing this.
That is true.
For some niggas, that's a ritual. Them bitches go down there every spring break. Hey, bro, you ready? You know what we got to do, right?
And that's crazy because I'm thinking like, nigga, once them bones start aching and you're still trying to make that trip every year to Miami, it's like, okay, nigga, like what is your purpose, my nigga? Like, why are you still trying to do this, my nigga?
Cause me, I was gonna say it's probably like between 27 and 29, so I wasn't too far off from your number neither.
I extend it to maybe about 26, because 26, 25 is like you're. I mean, of course you grown, but you not. You
need to think about what you got going on.
Like after you hit 25, it's like, okay, my nigga, like you've officially entered old head age, my nigga. In my eyes, because I mean I'm 20, 25 is 5 years away. That's quite a while. I'm still a young nigga, but once I hit 25, it's like, okay, I need to be looking about what the next 30 to 40 years looking like.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if. Especially, and if you got like an actual job, like say you got a career, like
you having to take off from work.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're taking off of work in late March and to specifically go party with young girls. Like that's kind of crazy, nigga. I don't know why you would just take off work for this specific week every year. You look kind of crazy.
Nah, you ain't lying. Nah, but speaking of young bitches. Andrew Tate just got out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hey, bro, people, this is what I don't understand. Everybody was hating on Andrew Tate. A lot of people was happy he got locked up, especially from a female standpoint. But this nigga got out looking swole, and all these bitches is on social media talking about some. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, he look kind of good.
I've seen both sides. I've seen some people like call him a Neanderthal type junk, trying to call the dude ugly, and the other crowd I've seen was like talking about how nigga it's still Ramadan, and
I seen that too.
he's smoking a cigar, listening to music. I'm like, come on, bro.
He ain't worried about Ramadan. That boy got out that pen.
He not worried. He would never worry about no daggone Ramadan.
He surely wasn't.
That nigga was in there just trying to. I seen a little clip when he got out. He said, "When I was in jail, I was focused on doing push-ups and reading the Quran. Now that I'm out of jail, I'm only focused on doing push-ups, reading the Quran." Nigga, the first video that hit the timeline, you smoking a daggum cigar. You know daggum well, you can't be smoking no daggum cigar. Blasting trap music in the background.
You ain't lying,
Come
boy.
on, nigga. Because them niggas can't listen to music.
They can't.
During the Ramadan. Like, you can't listen to music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so you're breaking, you want
multiple things.
Multiple rules, nigga. Like, so.
I think the thing with that is that it can come with a religion thing where a lot of people don't follow the religion all the way to its source. Like they might follow it in some standpoints, but they don't be all the way with what's in the Bible. Like even with Christianity, a lot of Christians curse. It's still something that don't curse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still something that
cursing is one of them issues where it's like, because the way I have seen it and kind of, I'm not gonna say like I do just typing all day doing research, but from what I've looked at, cursing is more about the intent. It's not necessarily just because words is literally just vibrations that's coming out your mouth. Like it's just without context, the words mean nothing, and you could say the same word right now and 1,000 years ago, it means nothing because language evolves. So I think it's more like literally like, okay, say someone in the street and you about to hit them by a car. They about to get hit by a car. If someone says, "Man, I'm about to run you over. Get out the street. I'm going to run you." Like, okay, that's saying that versus a nigga be like, "God damn, I'm about to hit this nigga in the road." Like, that's, one is wrong and one is not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's just, but when it comes to what you're saying, like the gist of what you're saying, 100%, like I agree. And that's one of my biggest gripes with a lot of so-called Christians. And I don't want to come off as if like I'm this perfect Christian, because I'll be the first one. I was just talking about the first thing we said on the podcast was talking how much of a screw up I am. That was before we even did the intro. So I'll be the first one to say, raise my hand. I'm a screw up. I mess up all the time. But what I've learned is that it's all about like your intent and how you're going about your life. Like, are you trying to stay away from certain sins? Are you trying to obey God and the way you live your life? Do you when people see you, do they see Christ living in you?
Yeah.
So that's my big thing, because there's a lot of people who, they claim it. Oh, I'm a child of God. I love God, but they go out and they don't.
Slinging crack,
Exactly.
shooting
Not
bullets.
even just that. It's just any type of sin that they're not in active work trying to minimize. Like, the biggest thing with me, uh, because I'll just talk about myself, because a year ago, it's been almost a year since I stopped having sex, and that was the reason why. Because I'm like,
How long?
almost a year.
All right, just keep going.
It's
bro.
been, I mean, it's been a tough. I've almost slipped up.
Shit. Hey, would have been did that, boy. That's 365 days, boy.
Oh my goodness.
12 hours in each one of them days, but nah.
Yeah. So 'cause I it's been moments where I've almost slipped up, but I would just talk about before. It was like, I'm grateful that I was able to, not necessarily come to my senses, but be able to finally separate myself from doing that sin. Because the reason why I was having sex was because I was in a relationship, and the girl I was in a relationship with, she did not believe in God, but it was just like, oh yeah, I know God is out there, but it wasn't like an active longing for a relationship with God. So me being a person who actually wanted that, the Bible talks about being unequally yoked with unbelievers. Even though she wasn't technically an unbeliever, she wasn't seeking that relationship. So, and I'm not blaming her, because at the end of the day, I made the decisions, but it didn't make it no easier with the fact that she wasn't trying to get a relationship. So we was, having sex or whatever. And like every time, I whatever.
Finished.
Yeah. I just had like, dang. I'm just like, the post not clear, and I'm thinking like, dang, I'm just how disappointed, God is in me. Like,
as long as you were disappointed afterwards.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but that's why
darn you downstream.
I was gonna say. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that I was living like that, and I made the change. You feel me? Like, I made the decision. Like I was saying, I haven't had sex with nobody. Like, I've only had sex with one person. But I haven't been in no sexual relationship since that last time I had sex with my ex-girlfriend. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's because I made the decision. Okay, I want to sacrifice my own pleasures so that I can honor God with all things. That includes my body. That includes my sexuality. I want to honor God in all things. So, it's like, it's a process with anybody, but it's a difference between someone making that mental, like, I want to make a change, between someone who is still doing it, and they're not trying to change. They still doing what they doing. They still trying to, get it in. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, it's just like, God just wants your effort. He wants you to give your all in the relationship. So I don't want to judge or nothing like that, but it's just like, I'd much rather someone just not call themselves a Christian or believer in God at all, if they're not even gonna try to put in no type of
effort
in trying to have or maintain a relationship with God. You just living your life, going out the day. You're not thinking about God. You're not praying. You're not worshiping. Not reading your Bible. Nothing. You're not showing any fruit of the Holy Spirit. But you raised up in the church. You might have sang in the choir, so you technically Christian or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, now before I say this, look, let me go ahead.
Oh gosh.
Thank Lord. Look, no, ain't nothing too bad. Look. Listen. Let me go ahead and talk my shit. Now, look, I don't did a lot when it comes to changing my life in order to make sure I'm gonna be good whenever the rapture or whatever else happens, and all this, basically giving my life over to God.
Yeah.
I stopped doing a lot of dumb shit I was doing in high school and all that other shit. But
I mean, like, because trust me, I was there. I literally was. I was that person. You feel me? And like, it just felt like I wasn't ever gonna be able to.
Ain't no changing the world over here, boy. That's what it get me. If that's what's gonna get me.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, with you, you're in a relationship. So I felt if you weren't in a relationship, you wouldn't be dealing with that because you like you said, you like I said, I've seen you grow, like personally, and I'm proud of your growth. So I know if you were in a relationship, that would be easy peasy. You wouldn't be out here, you wouldn't be doing that if you were in a relationship. But even in the relationship, not even in a relationship, but even in the Bible, let's say, bruh, go ahead and get married. Yep. So you ain't even gotta wrestle with these, especially when you've been in a long-term relationship. And I know you talked about how you want like a big wedding and things like you want it, but it's like if this is one of the things, like you don't want that to be the thing that keeps you separated because from God. Like you don't want this 15 minutes of pleasure you get every few days or whatever, or maybe even every day. You don't want that to be 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour.
I was going to say about 5, but all right.
5 hours?
No, I'm talking about 5 minutes. Hey, let me chill out the fucking. Oh, goodness. They said 5 hours.
I was like, what?
Hey, it ain't fun no more. I know y'all shit hurt.
I was saying, everything limp. It's like,
you forcing it at that point. Oh, my goodness, bro.
But that's how I see it. It's like, I look at it in the terms of the broader, spectrum outlook. Like, don't let 15 minutes or 5 minutes lead to don't let it lead to eternal separation. Because whenever you sin, because with the whole thing with Christianity, like Jesus came, he lived the perfect life, and he became a sacrifice so that you wouldn't have to handle or be judged or punished for the sins you commit. So every time you sin, it's like you slapping them in the face. Matter of fact, the Bible says every time you sin, you hang Jesus up, nail him on that cross every time you sin. That's what you do. You nail him on that cross for him to die again every time you sin.
Stuck in the goddamn Naruto Infinite. What is it? Sycamore?
That's what you do with every time you sin. So it's like, dang. Look at take your mom. If you was living a life that you knew would hurt her, like continuing to live that life, knowing how much it hurts her, that will reflect how much that will reflect how you actually feel about her, no matter what you say. And I think that stands true with Christianity or just Jesus. You might say you love God. You might say you a child of God because of your upbringing or whatever. But if you're doing something that you know he doesn't approve of, it literally hurts him when you do it, but you still do it anyway without any type of remorse, or type of repentance, it shows how you really feel. That's just how I see it. So that's why, like lately, bro, I've just been a lot more vocal about, like, bro, get rid of the wickedness in your everything, like whatever is causing you to sin, like it, bro. I'm telling you, the Bible it say, bro, if your eye caused you to sin, gouge it out, because it's ready. You better off going to heaven. You better off, and of course it's an analogy. It's not.
Yeah, I understand. But
cut your eye out, because it's better to go into heaven with one eye than to your whole soul go to hell because of your eye. Or if you cut off your hand, it's better to go up to get into heaven with one hand. Stuff like that. So what was you gonna say?
I feel like back then them niggas were really doing that shit, bro.
But you cutting off the hand,
cutting off the hand, gouging out. I feel like they were really doing that.
I mean, if it came to that level, some people may have, but I think most people
looking at my bitch. Give me them niggas think they Jeepers Creepers and shit.
But being real, if it has to come to that, you got you ain't want it for real. You want it. But like, I think most people would come to the okay, I'm gonna cut out the things in my life. So me personally, it's been social media, and I just, what's it called? I downloaded my Twitter data, so I could just have my archive, just keep all my tweets and DMs and stuff like that. I'm finna delete my account.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
The account Twitter finna be gone, because every time I get on there, I want to choke the chicken. I'm just being real. The chicken want to get choked.
I ain't gonna lie, that junk is ridiculous. Every time you go to the home page, bro,
Yeah.
they don't edit that For You page.
Yeah.
It's over
Yeah.
with, bro.
It's over with.
It don't even be nothing for me. I don't follow nobody that do nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's just on there.
Yeah.
Cause somebody else I follow like
Yeah.
that. I be like, oh nah, bro.
Straight booty on there every time I open that. And it's like, bro, I ain't even come here for this,
I'm
my
trying to
nigga.
go crazy Tuesday. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this?
Like,
I ain't never ever heard nothing like this before.
Like literally, bro.
Goodness.
That junk will have a tweet and it'll say, post your booty. And
Bruh.
you know how they do the quote tweet?
Yes, bro.
I will see every quote tweet on the timeline. I don't follow none of these people. I don't follow the person who made the original tweet. It's just because For You page, the algorithm has just put that on my stuff. And that might have been because I follow a lot of women. A lot of thirst follows. You feel me? So, women, they like, oh, you're so pretty. Repost your booty. Stuff like that. Like, that's what they do. So it might be because of that. So it's just like the app finna be gone. Like, I'm not finna, like I said, I'm not finna let these 10, 15 minutes or hour of pleasure be what causes that separation. And even though, I have confidence, in my salvation, because I feel like I said, it say you saved by grace through your faith. Your faith is what saves you. But it's still like, I want to obey God, not because I think my obedience or my good deeds is going to save me from hell. I want to do that just out of gratitude. Like, I'm thankful that you sacrificed your life. Like, you came, because like imagine, like, I don't know people who would come down from their high state to come down and to like be lower than what they know they could be just for other people, and didn't to die. Because people say all the time, I'll die for you, I'll take a bullet for you. And that might be true. Some people might take a bullet for you. But how many people would be like betrayed and like
done wrong and still do it.
Like drugged through the street, get whipped like with these, they had like metal and glass on it. So when they whipped you, it cut the skin. Cut the skin. And you had to carry a big old cross down the street, people spitting on you, mocking your name, like people calling you everything but a child of God. And then to be hung up on the cross, hands through your hand, holes in your hands, holes in your feet, a crown of thorns, you're bleeding everywhere. Like this is not
should have been gone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not like a quick bullet to the head. Like, this is torture. Like, I don't know nobody who would do that for you, but God did that for you. So it's just like, he did all that for me. I can keep it in my pants. You feel me?
For a couple minutes.
I can keep it in my pants until I get married. I can not have my hand on my junk. I can not steal. I cannot, be jealous or have anger or resentment.
Yeah.
Hate
things to another man. Things like that.
Like, who am I to have all this in my heart against another person? Because Jesus could have had that against me, but he chose not to. You feel me? So it's just like, that's just how I see it. Like, it's literally no reason, bro. No reason for you to be sitting here having, it's no way to be acting the way you acting when Jesus did all that for you. That's just
moving on from such a heavy topic.
Yeah.
Goodness, I know some people don't went out there and picked up a Bible after all that preaching, boy. But seriously, no, it is true what he's saying. But
yeah,
I do got a question. You think video games are falling off, bro? Bro, I just think coming from such a time as kids with all the great games we had, I don't think they're falling off. I just think they aren't at such a caliber as what they used to be. Like back then, I feel like microtransactions has killed the gaming industry. Yeah. I feel like that's what it is, because majority of games are not made for your enjoyment. They're made for them to profit off of.
Yep.
They make them just good enough so you ain't got to complain. And then when you complain about something, we dropping a patch. There you go. And that's about it.
It's so crazy. Like, nigga, my whole life of playing games up until the PS4, I never heard of a day one patch.
Nigga, bro. Oh
like,
God.
what is a day one patch? Like, what do you mean?
Heard of a patch in general. I was like, what
exactly.
is this?
Every game I bought, and granted, I was strictly story mode type games. Like, I didn't have, because I was on Xbox at 360. I ain't have no Xbox Live or nothing. I was playing WWE 2K13 and 14, 2K14, playing Batman, Spider-Man. I was playing them games. I don't remember having to update that none of those games.
No.
I bought the disc, put it in, and played.
Yeah, it was good.
I ain't have to download nothing. You feel me?
Oh, it wasn't no patch notes or nothing
At all. So it's like the way gaming has changed over the last, just say 10 years. Like it sucks because, and I think this is with everything nowadays. It's like you said, everything. How can you profit off of this? How are you gonna capitalize off of this? It's no longer passion projects. Like the last thing I've played that I think was like a passion project was probably Fortnite in the beginning. I think they genuinely just wanted to make a good battle royale game, and I think that even that has just been money. Like they don't even drop patch notes no more.
No, the crazy thing is Fortnite is literally the main reason that microtransactions became as popular as it has, and for it to come for it being like originally just being a good game. Once Fortnite dropped that battle pass, and they seen, oh, it's a free game, I'm making this amount of money off of it. Yeah, everybody was like, yeah, let me just follow the trend.
Yeah,
and it's so crazy because now it's not even just PlayStation games. You got shit like Nintendo. The Switch.
The daggum Switch.
I can't even play Pokemon without having to worry about, the graphics bad, frames dropping. Nigga, this is Pokemon. We not even playing with other people. These are AIs.
You're in a little
moving
world.
around. I'm trying to, like, the world, don't get me wrong, the world is bigger and everything else, but why are we dropping a Pokemon game every year?
Yeah.
Every few months, there's a new Pokemon coming out.
Yeah,
I was like, bro, this was my first year actually getting able to play Pokemon. Well, last year, because I never actually got to sit down and actually play like the little handheld. I had the cards and shit.
Yeah.
And what's it called? So I sat down and played that with my homeboy. Literally, as soon as I beat the game, 2 months later, the new Pokemon dropping tomorrow. What do you mean? This one just came out. I'm like, yeah, but y'all got it. So I don't really, like I said, I ain't gonna say video games are falling off to that extent. I just feel like they aren't loved. They don't have as much love.
Yeah, it's no love. And I think part of the reason why the love is kind of gone, just from the niggas who make it, their standpoint, it's so expensive to make a game now.
Yeah,
because you have to meet like an industry standard.
That 4K.
Yep.
At least 60 frames per minute.
And truth be told, niggas don't really care about that. They pretend to care, but once they get the game and they playing the game,
they don't even realize what that means half the time.
Exactly.
They just saying it.
Only people that care about that is like PC niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Consoles don't care about no daggum 60 frames per second.
The only thing we care about is load times for real. That's about it.
Exactly.
As long as I load in, fact, don't give me that Paul George screen. That bitch used to be a motherfucker, boy. Oh my God.
But not speaking of Paul George and the 2K17, I think 2K more than anybody, just off my experience, because it could be other developers because I heard EA has done crazy with microtransactions in the past, but I think they were the they were the ones pushing it forward so much, because it was like the way that the game was built, it forced you to spend money on it. So if you had to spend money on the game, what was stopping them from gouging prices, making it so where every game you played, you got less VC, or just making the VC $2 or $3 go up every year, things like that. Because if you didn't buy VC, you was gonna be playing by yourself for 3 months.
Come in the park with me, boy. No, now you can't come in the wreck. Not back then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you had to be fine. Yep. So it's like these niggas, they knew exactly, and then the fact that there was no competitor, made it even worse.
And see, that's what I feel like. You are right. 2K were like the first main niggas to do that, but the thing, Fortnite is the one who got it out in the world to multiple other people, because a lot of 2K. We a big community, but we're small in minority. Yeah. So it's like, it's a lot of niggas playing 2K. You got a couple female whatnot, but everybody played Fortnite. Everybody played Fortnite. Little kids, adults, teenagers, no matter what color you were, everybody's on Fortnite. And they seen that and said, let me try something real quick. Added a battle pass and skins you could buy. Man, them little kids running up people credit cards. Yeah. It was literally an app, it was literally a problem, like, where kids were literally stealing their parents' credit cards and shit to go buy skins. I'm like, bro, ain't no.
That's always been like a issue though, niggas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I never tried no bull like that, because I knew it.
I'd get my ass.
I would say fire would be lit to my tail if I spent some money on some fake junk. Cause that's what it was to your parents back then. Yeah. Some fake stuff on the screen. What
and you realize that when you get older, cause you start working and you like, bro, I just worked an hour and made $15, $20. I'm like, oh yeah, ain't no damn. This shit costs damn $25 for the skin. Nah, I'm
exactly.
Cool.
I'm cool. I don't want
even need it that much.
That's why I learned, bro, with 2K, bro. I would make sure I made the same build every year.
Oh yeah,
because it was tried until I make it like a 6'5" point guard or shooting guard, medium wingspan, and he play shot basically. Make the same build every year, so I know he gonna be at least decent. Even if the meta don't work towards me, I know he gonna be at least play make, hit some shots, play some daggum defense. I ain't do all the extra stuff. So I buy $50 VC in the beginning of the year and run with that build the whole year. Because I was not finna keep paying for new VC multiple times throughout the year. It just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, my thing, I always make 5 builds, but like the last
gracious.
The last 3 don't come until like towards the end. Like the first 2, the first one is like, all right, I'm finna make a nigga that can play, make, shoot, and play defense. Yeah. All right. And then I'm gonna see, all right, now I'm about to make the meta build just so I can compete with you. The other 3 just be some shit I'm just about to make so I can play my career by myself or some shit. So that would be with me. But the main thing I'm gonna say, bro, 2K24 is gonna be my last 2. I'm not like, and the only way I'm getting that shit is if I'm watching footage and other niggas is playing. I'm not buying 2K24 just because the only reason I got 2K23 was because of Carlton, and then nigga ain't even play this shit.
That nigga don't even play.
He blew me, bro.
That nigga don't even play.
I told him, bro, I get it if you want me to, because he was like, he got the P5 and don't nobody be on it. I was like, bro, I get it if you what's it called, if you need somebody to play with. He said, yeah, bro, you can get it, bro. I got it. Made my build. Don't even be on that junk.
That nigga,
like, man.
I see his name pop up. This nigga's watching Netflix.
Yeah,
this nigga's not playing the game. That
nigga
not playing the game.
Man, that just be chilling. That junk be crazy though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that that's why I say when we was talking like the other night about what we want to do, and I said eventually I want to make a game. Cause I know if I make a game, it's gonna have longevity and it's gonna be good. Cause I play video games. Cause the main thing I've always said my whole life is they can't have people who play video games making these video games because people who play video games know I want this kind of game, and I would, this feature we would not have packed, and that's why I feel like back in the day they had people who played video games and making video games. Today is just any old body making video games that graduated. Because back then we didn't need patch notes, because when the game dropped, people knew what we wanted, and that's what came out. Now it's like, man, look, just get this out and make sure they pay $20 to get ahead every now and then.
I think the other thing that kind of gets lost in it is that because like what I was saying earlier, how expensive it is to make a game. Like these niggas, they're trying to make their money, and it's not the developers' fault. The developers, I think, most of the time are trying to make a good game, but they have to cut corners or sacrifice quality in places where they could usually be better, but they have the publisher pressuring them to do certain things so that they can make more money. 2K is the perfect example. Like we rag on 2K, and no doubt the developers, they're a big problem with 2K, but just from a monetization standpoint, the reason why it is microtransactions, it has nothing to do with people at like actual 2K. It's their parent company that is owned by this white, I forgot his name, but you don't like, that's the thing, you don't even know his name. He's not even he's a billionaire, but he's not on the level of like a Jeff Bezos or like a Elon Musk. So his name gets kind of lost, and people don't blame him. I remember Agent made a really great video about this guy years ago, and he's talking about how he's getting interviewed by people talking about, because he's over GTA 2. Yeah. Like, because he's the head of that junk. Because 2K and GTA are under the same parent company. So he's talking about how much more money they can make. That's all he's talking about, how much more money they can make all the time. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, these, like Mike Wang, LD, Chris Manning, like these guys they're not going in every year trying to disappoint the fan base. They're going in every year making sure they can still have a job. Because if they don't do certain things, they're going to get packed up for the guy who will do every single thing
that
to
they
make the
ask
most
for.
Exactly.
Because they're all replaceable. But when I was saying that earlier, I wasn't like blaming the developers for the quality of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly was saying for like the experience, like when it comes to like certain features that we would like in the game that's not in
for
there,
sure.
things like that. But before we wrap up the podcast, I know it was like one big thing I was talking about telling you that I want to get in here, and it's the fall of the US dollar.
Yeah.
I know you said you ain't hear nothing about it, so I know I'm gonna have to take like the head lead. But basically, the biggest thing is Russia's, China, Saudi Arabia, and Iran's all said they're moving away from the US dollar. First off, that's gonna spark a war. Cause where do we get majority of our items from? China, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. It gives us a lot of oil and gas and stuff. So if our dollar are worthless in the areas where we get majority of our stuff from, what are we gonna have?
Yeah.
There's not. We already are struggling to get stuff from China and like materials and junk because of COVID and delay times. But beyond that, we got to deal with now. Y'all don't want to accept our money or whatnot. And one thing that happened in the U.S. recently that made me be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Is there's certain like parks that are like community parks or whatnot that you can go out in different states. I forgot what states they're in, but they're like part where you can go fishing, camping, and jump with your family, and you have to pay to get into those. They're not accepting cash money anymore. You have to use digital.
Oh yeah, that's been like the standard for a few years now in a lot of places. Like people just don't do cash no more. Like it's always card. Like if you ain't got your credit card on you when you go out, you might well not ain't go out because it's if you go multiple places, at least one of them is be like, nah, we do card only.
Yeah. And that's why I've been looking at it, and I've been looking at everything that's going on in the world. And I know we talked about Christianity in the Bible a lot earlier, but boy, y'all better get right. He said we were gonna have a swarm of locusts. We had that already. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
He said we were gonna have a disease that was gonna wipe out half the population. COVID. Said we was gonna go through. We would go through. Shit, it might as well. It's just a lot of people.
It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
But then we had what's it called? They said we were going through famine and another Great Depression. If this money, if
wars
we lose,
and rumors of wars too.
With all this going on, it's starting to look a lot like it might be that time. But I ain't gonna speak nothing into existence. I'm trying not to. But
you can't stop that. Boy.
It's just the way it's sounding is getting bad for y'all. Y'all better go pick up a Bible and start practicing because.
Unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to do that.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to judge people because
not doing
because at the end of the day, it's free will. Like people, that's why we're living in this world we live in, like this fallen world. Like this is a grace period. All this stuff that's going on, people don't wonder why bad things happen to good people. Why it seems like all the bad people get so much good. It's like. It seems like it's going unnoticed and untouched, but once God come, pour that judgment onto the world. It's all hands on deck. I'm
gonna tell you like how my granddad told me: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Exactly.
But, we've been saying, look, you want to pick up that Bible, that's up to you. But if not, when them beasts start coming from out the ground
coming out the water,
volcanoes start erupting, you hear that silence. That silence means hurricane and junk coming. A tornado. I don't know if people know that, but before hurricanes and junk hit, it zips away all the sound, so it'd be so quiet. Yeah, before all that hit,
you hear that trumpet coming from the sky. Like why is it so loud outside? Yep. So,
Betty, you hear that trumpet? Nah, she don't hear that. She ain't even here no more.
She up
there practicing how to play that motherfucker. It's over with.
Yeah, but it was some other things I wanted to touch on. I don't know how deep we'll get into this conversation, but I just want to actually, for the first time in my life, I want to commend the police officers that rushed in and saved countless lives in that Nashville shooting.
Oh yeah.
Because, man, I was just so heartbroken, man. Because it just seemed like nothing is changing. In terms of people being able to get up into schools and hurt people, and this one was especially hurtful because it was a grown adult. 28 years old.
Damn.
I'm not even gonna say their name, But they were 20 years old and they came in and shot 3 teachers and 3 students. And I'm pretty sure all 3 of those students were like 9 years old. And it's just like the reason why, the reason why they think is because, one of the reasons why is because they think that when that person who did the shooting was they think they attended the school and they went through some sort of trauma at the school because it's a Christian school, and this person wound up being transgender or whatever. So, that those conflicting, those a Christian and someone who's having like gender dysphoria, that don't really mix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that's such a hurtful thing to see that you are so upset with these people that possibly didn't do nothing to you. Like the people who caused you that pain or trauma, they probably not even at the school no more.
Nope.
If you're 28 years old and you took it out on children, and I just don't, I don't really have a lot of words to describe how upsetting it is, because it's like we live in this such a, like I call it like it's fleeting, like everything's fleeting, and it's just like coming from that community, the LGBT community, like that person probably wanted nothing but like acceptance and tolerance and stuff like that. But they weren't able to get that, and clearly was some mental issues going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like the government doesn't do a good enough job of looking at these kids who are in these type of situations where they may have some type of mental disorder, and I don't, because I don't want the government doing, but I want the government to fund the people who can look into these, because we spend billions, because I went on a rant about it the other day on Instagram, billions of dollars towards the police and military. I'm talking about 80 billion to the military, but we can't even get a few million to schools to fund these institutions that will actually help continue the conversation of mental health, continue to get people to talk about how they're feeling in a healthy way, because this could be avoided.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because if it can't be avoided at school, it could be avoided at home.
Yeah.
And it just, people saw this and the first thing they thought was to blame, trans people. And that upset me as well, because it's like all these issues going on in the world, and we see all these people who come and shoot schools up or just shoot any place up. They all have one thing in common. They're mentally ill. All of them are mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's a white straight dude, he was a good guy. He just troubled childhood, this, that, and the third, every time. But when there's a trans person, or it's the trans ideology turning people, radicalizing people, and it's just like that. That's why it's so hurtful. Is because we know why this keeps happening, but every time it happens, you don't want to address the actual problem. The mental problem, the problem is that there are people out there who are mentally ill and who do not have the resources to get help, and then they end up getting access to guns.
Yeah.
That is the issue.
Because the biggest thing for me is like, I ain't know too much about the Nashville shooting in general, but I know about, school shootings and what caused it. And mental illness is the biggest problem. And the thing is, people aren't really focusing on that, like you said. Like, there really does need to be like a place where kids can, I'm not saying lock these children down but sit down and have a talk with these kids. Even, I don't care if it take a year to go through a whole school. Literally just sit down, have general conversation with the kids. And a lot of it, you can't always just blame the teacher. It's also the parents. The parenting needs to, you got to sit down and have a conversation with your kids. It should never be a point to where a kid comes and tell you something, you're like, oh, I never knew this. It's just a surprise. Like, that kid lives with you every day of their life. You should know that they're going through this. They have a problem with it. That's why I know when I have kids, when I'm gonna make it, hey, we're gonna talk every single day. I don't care. You can be mad at me. We can be in art, but we're gonna sit down and have a conversation, because I understand that mental health is important
Mm-hmm.
because I went through mental problems and I'm not crazy or no shit like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
I don't been through there with mental issues and feeling angry and like I had anger management problem my entire life, and that's how I know that there's nothing in place to help with like mental problems or mental like
Yeah.
state of mind. Because even when I got put through anger management course, that shit ain't do nothing. Not nothing whatsoever. You got a teacher sitting up there trying to teach you how to breathe and do all that. That didn't do nothing for me. I had to learn how to control it my own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the case for a lot of kids. They have to learn how to do it for themselves. And for a lot of kids, that's not possible. They barely know how to control their emotions or what life even is. So how are they gonna learn how to deal with their own mental problems or mental illness? And a lot of times it be the parents that install like certain things into them. So if you thinking that the kid has mental problems, you never know. Say if a kid has mental illness or whatnot and goes through their whole life, has kids, now their kids have it, but the parents not doing anything because he was brought up and he ain't have no help and he has the same mental illness as a kid. So he's overlooking everything that was overlooked about him, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They really do, and they need something in place to where you can sit down and like talk with the kid and find them some type of help because we can't keep having this.
Yeah, because it's such a trickle down effect. Because with me living in a house with someone who has who has bipolar disorder, bipolar depression, there are certain systems. They're not in place by the school, but if you go to someone, you can tell the school to do it, but the school don't do it a lot of times. And I think if there was just a more emphasis on it, like I think what it boils down to is because it's always gonna boil down to money. It seems like because people would care more if they were getting paid to care. You feel me? That's what a lot of people like. I don't get paid to care.
It shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that.
Like,
but
you wouldn't want somebody to say that about you if you was going through something. But
because I mean, there are a lot of teachers out there who don't care. And, they only there for the check. But daggone, like if they could just get a little bit more money, they might be incentivized to care a little bit more. If you put some type of funding towards different, like maybe a new, I guess, department in your school, because there's like one counselor and like there's like one therapist in the school. How about a therapist for like each grade or multiple? Just somewhere where these kids can go. Because even if the teacher not acting right, you can count on the school therapist or whatever. Just something to get to stop, because it's not gonna stop at a government level. Because every year, the NRA, the National Rifles Association, they lobby millions of dollars to these politicians so they can ignore this type of stuff. This has been happening for a long time. But these people who want their, Second Amendment right, they have institutions. They have their institutions in place where they can fund people to make changes or keep things the same. And it's just crazy to me. And I don't understand it because the Second Amendment right thing, they made that when niggas had like these goofy white rifles.
Yeah, it been a long time since the amendment's been touched on or really updated.
You mean to tell me that a law that was passed when the way you reloaded your gun had to put that thing down, stuff it, and then all this aiming down? Like, nigga, what? Like, nowadays, niggas got AR-15.
You click one trigger, it's 900 bullets.
Exactly. And then the thing that's so nuts about it is that these people are like, oh yeah, man, we keep our guns because, the government, if they wanted to take over, we need a way to defend ourselves. I don't know who you think you are. Oh, you're not John Wick. You're not G.I. Joe.
I'm trying to tell you. You just told them everything they need to know. All right, we're going to blow up his house first.
Exactly.
He's where they're holding all their weaponry at.
Because when I tell you, like, nigga, this the government, this is the power that the government has. The government has the power to level the city of Statesboro.
Oh, yeah.
And should there be any survivors, they could just send in drones to kill everybody else. And then cover it up to make it look like an accident and have Statesboro, Georgia just be a forgotten thing of the past.
Yep, a nuclear plant went off. I never knew there was one in Statesboro. There wasn't, but there is today.
That's what I'm saying. Could turn this place into a nuclear fallout. A lot of people like the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Still a lot of people that don't know that. The fact that you don't know that is evident of the type of power that the government has, because they blew that city to smithereens, and people don't know you know what it is. So
they cover up shit on a daily basis. We don't know what it is.
So to think that you, with your AR-15, your Glock 9, your sniper rifle, your sawed-off shotgun, is going to do anything against drones that can literally have heat sensors, that they can take, the drones and machine can take bullets themselves.
And then you're going to have them one niggas that be like, oh, I was in there. I know everything they got. Bro, they ain't show you everything. They showed you enough to get the job done.
Well,
and even then, you one nigga. You
just
gonna fight
nigga. Exactly.
You going to fight an army of niggas just like you?
Nigga.
No, you're not. You're not whatsoever. It's going to be over with, man.
Yep.
Like, pack you the hell up.
I was gonna say, you're getting up out of there, bro. Like it's no saving you, my nigga. But you swear that, you know, your Second Amendment right is protecting you in some way. Speaking of freaking amendment rights and things like that, you see how they trying to get rid of TikTok, man? I know you have, man.
Yeah, they've been trying to do that for a minute though.
They have, but this looking like this might be the best chance they got.
I ain't gonna lie, go ahead and do it. Tired of nigga taking my shit down saying the N-word, bro. Goodness, every time content violation.
I hate that, boy. I be trying to post clips for this very podcast. I be trying to post clips from the podcast and my main channel. I gotta bleep out the word nigga because it's gonna get taken down. But these same clips go on Instagram and YouTube Shorts,
just fine.
Perfectly fine. It's ridiculous. But every month it's a viral sound where it's the hard R.
What?
Every month. God. Like it's crazy, but
you got girls showing ass. It was really a point where they were showing African women butt ass naked on TikTok.
Yeah,
but you taking my shit down.
Yeah, I think that's a different situation because you could talk that up to cultural stuff, you know. Because
but it wasn't just African women. It was any woman.
Because I've seen a woman on TikTok. She was breastfeeding. And had the other one out just there. You feel me? There's only been one being used at the moment, man. The other one don't need to be seen.
I'm trying to tell you.
Even the other day, I seen it was this lady, this light skinned shorty. She was dancing on her TikTok, but she had her phone right here. So she's dancing like in the foreground, and in the background, her phone is like sitting up like this, and it's a video of her with no clothes on. She's butt naked, and it's because it's that tiny. But you can still see it. Like if you just look around in a corner, you can see her playing with her, you know, her stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and it's that type of stuff is up. But you know, we talk a lot about TikTok, but you know, TikTok had its positives. So it's one of the things where you got to take the good with the bad and try to crack down more on the bad. But the reason why they're trying to take it down, it's not genuine. They just want to, just because it's a Chinese owned company, they want to punish China, I guess, or whatever. It's a stupid reason.
Ain't no way they're trying to take down TikTok because they trying to punish.
That's
China.
all it is. Because you got to think about it. Stuff that is just as bad as TikTok or worse is existing and is going to continue to exist. But they're all American. They were founded in America and they're owned 100% by American, you know, companies or whatever. Discord, Reddit, things like that. All type of crazy stuff on there.
Reddit,
that's not getting taken down. And especially on Reddit, because with Discord, it's like, okay, these are like chat rooms. But Reddit is a public forum. You can go on most Reddit and look at anything you want.
Oh yeah, they got every leak you can want. Anything.
Exactly. Same thing with an app like Twitter. Like you can go on Twitter and look at anything you could possibly want. But this stuff,
you ain't even gotta try to see some Gucci. It's just there.
It's on your For You page now.
Yeah.
On Twitter, shoot. So it's just like these niggas, they're focused on the wrong things. And while people are, you know, hungry, people don't have places to sleep. They're focused on, you know, TikTok because they think that the TikTok can somehow analyze your eyes or something like that. I saw something like that. It was like they can scan your eyeball or something to get some type of information. I'm like, y'all are just saying stuff now. Like y'all are just disgusting. Like y'all ain't even
because if that's
trying.
The case, y'all been able to do that. Shit, you could have been doing this shit the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's nothing that because the people asked. So, Mr. I don't know the dude name, but they were like, so how does TikTok know how old the users are? Because when you sign up, they ask you for your birthday. Like I don't know why that you're asking that in this court hearing trying to prove a point or whatever about.
Just sounds slow.
It just sounds
I feel
stupid.
like the biggest problem with America is that we've always been worried about what's going on in other countries more than what we're worrying about what's happening in our own country.
Yeah.
And then it's like the stuff, I feel like they try to hide or overshadow certain important things so that you be more worried about Megan Thee Stallion ass and her throwing that first pitch than shit like, oh, we're on the brink of going to war with these countries.
Yeah.
Type shit. So because the shit where I just said about the dog fucking all that happened on the 31st, the same day Trump got indicted, the same day Andrew Tate got released, and the same day Megan threw the goddamn pitch.
Yeah.
So everybody know about these three things, but I bet they ain't know that we about possibly could be going to war with these niggas over the US dollar.
Yeah. It's nuts that you know, people focus on certain things, but I don't want to, because it's bad that people don't know, but I don't know if there's really a way to get people to care.
Oh no, you can't make nobody care about
exactly because but in a lot of ways we don't really have the power to do it. Like we can't do anything about the American dollar, but at the end of the day, as much trash I talk about America, nigga, who's attacking us? Like that's not happening. Like, so we don't really have anything to worry about. But at the end of the day, I would like
to
it.
know.
Yeah, I would like to know, and I would like for this type of stuff to be avoided. You know, I don't want to go to war with other countries. I don't want to be from the country that just blowing everybody up. Like, what the heck?
Right.
That's nuts.
And they doing all that. The other people, you start to think, shit, how they supposed to care about me?
Exactly.
They got exactly big trade ports of money coming in from these countries they going to war with. Nigga, I just live here.
Exactly. That's a lot. Most times when it comes to war, the people who get punished the most are the people who have nothing to do with it. Like the Hiroshima, like, bro, that was civilians.
Yeah,
nothing but civilians that got killed.
9/11, shit, nigga was just punching some shit on some keyboard.
Exactly.
Chilling. Next thing you know, let me chill out.
I mean, you being real, like that's real.
Right. I was about to say kabooey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
but like that's real though. Like people have who have nothing to do. They may not even believe in the ideology that is being perpetuated that will make people want to attack. But since they're in America, they're on American soil, they're automatically enemies.
And I think the biggest thing with that is it's so hard to get people to realize what's real and what's a conspiracy theory. Because especially with social media, it's so much shit that you see and you be like, man, is that shit real or is they just doing this shit for some views?
Yep.
And then the reason, I ain't gonna lie, I like TikTok, but I hate TikTok. Because it'd be like, once you look at one thing and you watch it for too long, say you're doing something, you just let it play on your phone, they gonna keep showing you junk just like that. So now I'm scrolling, I'm like, bruh, I'm about to start a revolution because I got all this random. I'm like, bro, this shit real or fake? So I'm like, man,
that's what, like, you like. I so much because we going back to talking about Christianity. It's so much misinformation out there that I see when it comes to misconceptions about the Bible, what is in the Bible. People talking about, oh, it's been rewritten, how many ever times it was created specifically so they could use it against black people. And it's just things like that. It's like when you have information, when you have access to information, I say, and you use it to perpetuate lies and to deceive people to promote whatever agenda, it's discouraging. But at the end of the day, that's just the world we live in. It's crazy, but that's just what it is.
And with that, where people was using it to like abuse, or not against black people, but like basically just use it to control people.
Yeah,
I believe that I feel like everything in the Bible is true. But I do feel like that certain like governments or something use it to try to control certain situations and things that go on.
It's almost like you're thinking freely, like because that's all it is. Because this the analogy that I like to have in my head. Say you got a book of recipes. You cook, book of recipes, all the perfect recipes, everything you ever loved, including like fast food, but you can make it at home perfectly how it is at the restaurant. Your mama cooking any and everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
Book of recipes. Now if I beat your head in with the book of recipes, what's wrong? The person who beat you your head in, or the book itself.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the
People,
person that beating your head in.
but people don't make
see
that
it like that.
connection.
Yeah,
They don't see it like that.
They
They
just think it's the whole book and the whole religion is the reason.
exactly.
No,
They
bro.
throw the baby out with the bathwater every single time, and it's discouraging because I understand what that is, because they don't hold this same standard to, like, Islam or whatever, because Islam was spread in very similar ways to Christianity, but it's that same standard isn't kept. And the same people who try to say that the same people who try to say that Christianity was used against black people in this negative way, and that's why it's a false religion, don't know that part of the reason, not even part of the reason why the whole top half of Africa is Muslim, because they was going on there slaughtering niggas. They was going on there spreading that junk by the sword between the year 610 all the way up to like whatever year.
Yeah.
It's called it. Look up the Islamic conquest of Africa. Like, that was a big thing of how that religion got spread in the very early years. Like, but that doesn't get talked about because people just had that agenda. They want to bash on Christianity. That's the only thing they know. They don't know nothing about Islam. They don't know what hadiths are, what haram, halal mean. They don't know it. They don't even know the terms, let alone the actual theology or the history. So they just brag on what they think they know, and that is Christianity. But
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I will say, if you ever talking to the people, if you ever like want to understand like where we were just coming from, or like it's not the book itself, it's the people. There is a movie called The Book of Eli. It's
tell me about that.
It's actually it's a good movie for the simple fact it's basically a story about Eli, which if you read the book you know who Eli is, but he's in the movie, he's a blind dude, and until the end of the movie you don't realize he's blind, but basically he's carrying a book. The book is actually the Bible, but I'm not gonna say what kind of Bible it is because they'll spoil the movie or whatnot, but it's just the Bible. And the whole time, once people find out that it's the Bible, it's basically in a post-apocalyptic world. So once the people find out it's the Bible, they're trying to get the Bible in order to help control the people there. And so I feel like the creators of that movie was really trying to speak to you in like what's the word, symbolic way of telling you like this is really what's going on in the world. Like the book is good. Book it'll carry you throughout your life. It'll protect you. Everything that's in the book and what's said in the book is true. Because Eli talks about how God came and gave him a message and gave him a trip. Because the whole thing is about God came and told him to take the book to a certain place. The place was like this big dictionary where they keep all the rest of the book so that the book can get rewrote and given out to the people. But there's individuals that was trying to stop them along the way because they're trying to get the book to hold and to use it to control the masses and whatnot. So that's why when we say the book is good, the message in it is true. It's just that there's somebody holding that book trying to abuse it and use it against you. Now, I'm not saying it's the priest or whatnot in the show. I'm just saying there's somebody in the world that's using the book for bad, but it does not mean that the book is bad. That's all it is at the end of the day.
Yep, 100% agree with you, David. It was good. Yeah.
Good. Hey,
good little like how you wrapped it all up and put a nice little bun. You feel me? But yeah, man, that was a good episode. That was a good episode.
Most definitely. What I will say is, I appreciate y'all for coming out here, listening to our stream, and being here, because you do not have to click on these videos. You do not have to listen in. You don't have to do nothing. And we really just some niggas, and including Josh and Joe, just some people that be on here talking.
Yeah.
About random
just
shit.
Talking. Yep.
And the fact that y'all come on here and like and enjoy and subscribe is a beautiful thing. And I know I speak for all of us when I say we do appreciate y'all.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. I'm grateful for the ability to be able to just speak my mind, because that's a big thing that a lot of people they don't really have an outlet to do, because either somebody's not listening or they just don't know where to go to do that. So I'm glad that I have a platform and I'm able to share things like my beliefs, specifically with Christianity, because that's something that's like one of my favorite things to talk about. Like, I would never turn down like the opportunity to talk about my God. You feel me? So I'm grateful to be able to talk about it in some, I hope, get some type of glory out the conversation we had today.
And
You
maybe
feel me?
educate some people on
Exactly.
it at the end of the day too.
Exactly. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, man, if you made it to the end, put a what should they put in the comment section?
Yeah, put red pill, man.
Red pill. If you
Andrew
made it
Tate.
to the end, put a red pill in the comment section below. Once again, thank you. Thank you for all the love and support y'all show, bro.
Definitely.
And with that being said, hey, you got anything else?
Nah, peace, God.
Yep. Catch y'all next time. It's your boy Daniel Son None signing out. Hold up, before, because I don't even think we addressed the brick.
Oh no, we ain't talking about this.
We ain't talking about
we said, because at the start you was talking about what's it called? We in a new place and all, and that was all we said.
Yeah. This might we'll probably be back in the other
Room
spot.
for a couple episodes.
But eventually we're gonna be back. We're gonna be in here permanently.
This will be the spot.
Yeah, so get used to it. Start to enjoy it, because this is what it's gonna be. But yeah, man. With that being said, it's your boy Daniel Sonun. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.